1940, Britain stands alone. The flames rise over London. Night after night, German bombers rain destruction upon the British capital. Fires rage out of control. Buildings collapse into rubble. But in the ruins, a defiant people refuse to break. This is 1940, the year Western Europe falls and Britain fights alone. The year begins with the phony war still holding. French and British troops face the Germans across fortified lines. Some dare to hope the war might end without major bloodshed. Those hopes die in April. Germany strikes north, invading Denmark and Norway. Denmark falls in 6 hours. Norway fights on, aided by British and French forces, but the campaign goes badly. The Norwegian disaster brings down Neville Chamberlain. On May 10, Winston Churchill becomes Prime Minister. He offers nothing but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. That same day, Germany launches its Western offensive. But not where anyone expects. The Allies anticipate an attack through Belgium, as in 1914. The Maginot Line protects the German border. French and British forces prepare to advance north. It is exactly what Hitler wants them to do. The real blow comes through the Ardennes. This forested region has been deemed impassable for tanks. Through this impassable terrain, 7 German panzer divisions thread their way. General Heinz Guderian's tanks emerge from the Ardennes and smash through at Sedan. The breakthrough is catastrophic. German armor races toward the English Channel. Within 10 days, German panzers reach the sea at Abbeville. The Allied armies are cut in two. The Netherlands surrenders on May 15 after the Luftwaffe devastates Rotterdam. Belgium fights on but falls on May 28. The best French and British divisions, over 1 million men, are trapped with their backs to the sea. The evacuation of Dunkirk becomes a desperate race against annihilation. From May 26 to June 4, a miracle unfolds. Operation Dynamo rescues over 338,000 troops from the beaches. The Royal Navy commits everything it has. Then come the little ships, hundreds of civilian vessels cross the channel to help. Fishing boats, pleasure craft, ferries sail into a war zone to save their army. The soldiers wait in line stretching into the sea. German artillery shells the beaches. Stukas dive-bomb the crowds. Many drown or are killed by enemy fire. But the evacuation continues. Churchill warns against treating Dunkirk as a victory. Wars are not won by evacuations. But he finds words to match the moment. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall never surrender. France fights on, but the outcome is inevitable. German forces sweep south. Paris falls on June 14. German soldiers photograph themselves beneath the Eiffel Tower. On June 22, France surrenders in the same railway carriage where Germany signed the armistice in 1918. Hitler's revenge is complete. Marshal Pétain forms a collaborationist government at Vichy. One Frenchman refuses to accept defeat. General Charles de Gaulle escapes to London. France has lost a battle, he broadcasts. But France has not lost the war. Britain now stands alone against Nazi-dominated Europe. From Norway to the Pyrenees, Hitler controls the continent. Only the English Channel separates Britain from invasion. Hitler orders Operation Sea Lion, the conquest of Britain. First, the Luftwaffe must destroy the Royal Air Force. The Battle of Britain begins in July. German bombers and fighters attack RAF airfields and radar stations. The numbers favor Germany overwhelmingly, over 2,500 aircraft against fewer than 700 British fighters. Fighter command is stretched to breaking point. But the RAF has advantages. British pilots who bail out can fight again. Radar allows concentration of forces. And the courage of the pilots is extraordinary. Never in the field of human conflict, Churchill tells Parliament, was so much owed by so many to so few. The few. Young men in Spitfires and Hurricanes, fighting exhausted beyond endurance. Poles, Czechs, French, Belgians fighting alongside British pilots. By September, fighter command is near collapse. Then Hitler makes a fatal mistake. After British bombers raid Berlin, he orders the Luftwaffe to shift attacks from airfields to London. The Blitz begins. 300 bombers attack London on September 7th. For 57 consecutive nights, London is bombed. The East End burns. Thousands die. But the shift saves fighter command. On September 15th, the RAF inflicts heavy losses on German formations. By month's end, Hitler postpones the invasion indefinitely. Britain has won the first major victory against Nazi Germany. But the Blitz continues. London, Coventry, Birmingham, Liverpool, city after city is devastated. Over 43,000 civilians die. Hundreds of thousands lose their homes. Families shelter in underground stations. Yet the British spirit does not break. The King and Queen visit bomb sites. Churchill tours the ruins. Firefighters battle blazes. Factory workers produce aircraft around the clock. St. Paul's Cathedral stands surrounded by flames on December 29th, firefighters save it. The photograph of St. Paul's rising above the smoke becomes an icon of British defiance. Across the Atlantic, Roosevelt watches with growing concern. The destroyer's four bases agreement trades American warships to Britain. Lend-Lease is proposed. We must be the great arsenal of democracy. The war spreads beyond Europe. Italy attacks British-held Egypt. Mussolini invades Greece. The Mediterranean becomes another battlefield. In the Atlantic, U-boats take a terrible toll. As 1940 ends, Britain remains unbowed but exhausted. The Blitz continues. U-boats prowl the Atlantic. Victory seems impossibly distant. Yet there are reasons for hope. The invasion has been prevented. America moves closer to involvement. The Commonwealth rallies. And the Soviet Union, though allied with Germany, grows uneasy. Churchill knows the truth: Britain cannot win alone. But Britain can hold on until the forces of freedom gather strength. We shall not fail or falter. We shall not weaken or tire. Give us the tools, and we will finish the job. This is 1940, the year democracy's survival hung by a thread. In the burning cities and shell-torn airfields, ordinary people performed extraordinary acts of courage. Britain has proven that Hitler can be stopped. The Wehrmacht is not invincible. Totalitarian aggression can be resisted. The world will never forget the summer of 1940, the moment a nation stood alone against tyranny and refused to surrender. This is 1940. Britain stands alone. And Britain stands.